Don, have you heard anything more about Casey, about maybe how long you might be without him?
We heard what I heard was much better reports, like the best it could be. But I'm not going to confirm a timetable yet. I'll have Kevin do that, and I'll get confirmation, from the doctors and actually from our medical team further on it. But it sounded like things went very well, and it was exciting news.
Where's Drake Kachula and his?
We're keeping Drake back to skate, and through the skating progression, we still don't have a timetable with him, but it's encouraging. He's out there and he's doing a little bit more on the ice each day, getting more range of motion. So the fact that he's out there and improving is good, but no timetable.
How about Dustin Tokarson?
He's back, and we'll do the same. He goes in. He goes into the the skates to get his conditioning level back up, and then he'll join us. My guess is right when we return from this trip.
Was there a reason why Tuck wasn't on the ice with you guys today?
Yeah, just wasn't feeling well today, and we kept him off out of precaution for that. So,
as far as Victor goes, he hasn't scored in a while. It seems like he's getting his chances though, and he's doing a lot of what he does best. Like, how do you view his recent run, I guess?
Yeah, I think that line with him and Tage and Skinner have a lot of chemistry, and Victor's had chemistry with Asplund as well. So it's nice to see. That means he's doing the right things, because whoever you put with him, there's visible signs that they can produce, and they do produce at times. So I think he's doing everything as he should, and I'm happy with that. Some days it bounces for you, some days it doesn't, but he's got to keep working the way he has, and it'll be more good than not.
Do you feel
Did
like
he have to ramp up coming out of injury? Just because it seemed that on the power play he was a little shy about shooting till recently. Now I see him winding it up again. Did he kind of have to ramp
the
up?
injury he had was, and you guys know it. I don't like. I mean, it's medical issues, and these guys are going out there, and if I say the injury, the other team's going to target it, and it's not fair to the player. So that's why I don't go into the injuries. It's obvious for that reason. But his injury inhibited his shooting. That's the reason he probably was out so long, and that's his game, his shooting, and that's specifically on the power play, it's shooting. So even when he came back, he wasn't at 100% shooting. So he's getting more and more comfortable, and that's it's unfortunate that the injury was the injury, but and I think he's still dealing with that, or getting back to that strength and everything else, timing and all that.
So you guys plan to take 3 goalies on the trip, at least
We
at the
will.
start?
We will take 3. We have roster spots. We don't have to make a decision based on that right now, and because of that, we just take the group that you saw today.
And how much better do you just feel about? It was a tough loss for Dustin being out as long as he is. How much better do you feel after what Uko was able to show, and where Malcolm is trending at this point?
Yeah. I'm excited for Malcolm because it's an opportunity, and he has such experience now that hopefully that hindsight and that experience will come to fruition here and benefit him and benefit us. And then Uka, tremendous progress from how he looked, just physically how he looked, and his psyche, I think, is at another level from training camp, from coming out of training camp, and that's good. And we obviously would love for that to continue.
Is this a good opportunity? I know that development, but for him to get some games and get that experience, even if it's only a couple before, maybe rejoining the Emirates.
Yeah, any games he can get for, again, I've said it many times. He's going to be in a developmental phase of his career because his ceiling is so darn high. He's just going to keep getting better and better. So how do we get to that ceiling faster? How do we improve him faster and make him better 1 month from now? And the resources at our hand right now are games in the NHL, and we've used them, and we're going to continue to use it right now. He looks good. He feels good. Because of that, it's the right place. He can make progress in the development areas right here, right now. And so it's a simple and it's an easy decision based on that. Our decision is not going to stop being based on that right now. So to clear that up, that's how we're going to make it.
Especially late in the game on Saturday, looked like Brett Murray was winning a lot of battles. Is this progression-wise is what you want to see for him?
Yeah, I'm really, really happy with Brett. He caught my eye a year ago in training camp, just just seeing the potential he has. I talked about plenty of our young guys in potential, and for him, it's not been hard for me to see that. And so I wanted to get him, last year in there, late in the year, we did. So he had that hindsight of playing in the NHL over the summer. I felt that was huge for him in his development, coming in here feeling like an NHLer. And I've talked to him a lot about that at the start of the year. The more he feels comfortable in the NHL and realizes he belongs here and can belong here, can earn a job here, the more you're going to see his skill and talent, and we're seeing that.
Talk a little about Dylan and Kyle on that line, but what does he bring?
Yeah, the obvious physical size, but he has an incredible knack for space and developing plays, simplicity of the next simple play under pressure. He makes a lot of little plays, area plays under pressure to get pucks to the right area, to the stick of his teammate. That's a really, he's got a lot of skill in there. And obviously he has a knack for scoring and finding the back of the net. He's done that in his career, but there's a lot of subtleties that I see in his game that point to a lot of potential. And obviously the physical size is awesome too, and his work habits are great. So it all points in the right direction, and he's going to keep getting better and better. And the objective for me is to get him that time and get him that ice time. And I think Oki and Dylan plays with such great pace, it forces Murr to play at that pace, and he can. And then Oki, obviously, his standard is, he will not accept anything but excellence every shift, every practice, and it's good for both those guys to see that and feel that.
You've been pretty patient with the lines for the most part. How challenging is it when, you've stuck with Skinner, Thompson, and Olofsson, but they aren't producing the points, even though the chances are there? Do you wrestle with mixing it up a little bit, or do you just expect that it will eventually change?
Again, Brian, you wrestle with everything every day pretty much. When you mix it up, you're mixing other lines too. So you're not only mixing their line up, you're mixing another line up or two other lines. And again, I just don't think we have to develop as much stability as we can. And when you start shifting all things around, it's hard for everybody to stay focused on, okay, how are we doing in the D zone? How are we doing on our transition? How are we doing on our puck touches? Now it's like, well, I got to get used to this guy and used to that guy. So I don't want to change stuff around because we're just in such a learning and acquisition phase, So that's a big part of it. And hey, fight and get through it. There's opportunity, fight and get through it. There's nothing wrong with fighting through it. So we have to learn that too, and I shouldn't say learn that, but we have to do that. So,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
As far as Malcolm goes, look at the schedule. Thursday, Friday, is that one of those a potential start for him?
Yeah. I'll get a final read on Malcolm today. His first full practice. It looked like everything went great to the eye out there. I mean, obviously you saw him in the shootout at the end. So if that is the case, that would be the plan. I mean, you play those two games and back to back in the second set. I think if I'm right, Minnesota, Pittsburgh. So yeah, he'd play one of the first couple. I guess.
Seth talked today that Jack Quinn has mono. It's going to be a bit. That sometimes can be very difficult to come back for. You worry about Jack and being able to get over this.
Yeah, I don't. I've had numerous players at the national team, the guys that are sprinkled all over the NHL right now that had mono. That seemed to run rampant at that level with the national team kids, and no problem. The doctors are on it, and of a dozen cases that I saw there, at least over the years, there was never a problem. So I don't worry about Jack at all. He'll be ready.
Don, you got 2 road wins this year, and there's been games that have been close, Florida, LA, New York, that have been out there for you. Is it just part of the evolution of this team, figuring the road out a little? This is obviously a tough trip with these 3 places.
Yeah, this is a tough trip. I mean, these are, anywhere on the road is tough, but these teams are, Winnipeg and that building, they're high tempo, high speed. Obviously Pittsburgh is the same in that regard, and they have guys that just scorers. And then Minnesota plays kind of both the gritty, they can wear you down a little bit. So great challenges. We have to approach it, and I tell you what I told our team, and you guys after the press conferences we've had, you can look at some of the bad luck situations we have had, and late goals in games, or questionable this or questionable that in games. And I said it in this room all the time, you have to be good enough to overcome your mistakes. And because I've been on plenty of championship teams, and you have the same stuff happen to you, but it doesn't affect the outcome. You know, a goal with 4.4 seconds left doesn't matter because you already scored two ahead of that, and you're up by 2 goals. Or a goal that's, you know, you wish that didn't happen, doesn't matter because you outscore it. And so we can sit here and play the poor me card, but the fact is that would distract us from continually getting better. And we know our guys have such a high ceiling, we have to just keep doing that, and it's going to turn. And I feel it with our group. When that's going to happen, we just got to make sure we're getting closer to it rather than stepping back. And to that, you got to be fearless, and you got to keep moving forward, and we're going to do that. So whatever happens is good. It's got to make us better, and we're going to take that approach because we know what makes us better. We'll get to that point of turning it, and we'll win with much more regularity. And I don't want to get confused with all that other stuff right now. It doesn't make any sense to.